Hey, it's TK, and we are talking about losing weight. Stop waiting to lose weight, but we're doing it holistically. We want to change the mindset. And so right now, I want to bust a few excuses or cliches. I don't know what we want to call them. The big one is eating healthy is expensive. Not necessarily. We're changing our mindset. You want to reorient your relationship to the world. Eating healthy can be expensive. Organic foods are more expensive. However, how do you define expensive? If you're eating unhealthy foods, processed foods, they are clogging up your body. They are causing disease. So if you measure the time off work for sick days, if you measure disease, if you measure the time spent on medical bills, then you'll soon find out that eating healthy is not expensive. That's one way to look at it. Another way is if you look at, as you start to track what you eat and drink, you're doing the math. As you exchange bottles of wine and six packs and, fifths for tea and, other healthier things, you're going to save a lot of money. If you're eating steak and now you're eating fish, you're probably going to save money. So that's another way to look at it. What are you calling expensive? Money isn't the only thing that's expensive. There's other costs associated with being unhealthy, with being obese, with clogging up your body, with making these types of choices. So really look about your value system. Also, I want you to contemplate your relationship to hunger. If you don't know, right now we're experiencing food shortages. So the food that you throw away is even more critical. It's more of a waste. It makes me want to cry, the food that we throw away. You can buy less food that you're actually going to eat. You're going to eat smaller portions. That's a savings. So realize your relationship to food and to the world and to the earth. Your responsibility. The food that you buy and waste and don't use is hurtful to other people, because there are people who are starving, quite frankly, and who are food insecure. And if you're one of those people, then you certainly know what I'm talking about. Then the next thing to explore is our relationship to hunger. If you're eating 3 squares a day, you're not really hungry. You want something to eat. But when I'm talking about the type of hunger that I haven't eaten in a day or two, or I only had a sandwich or a bowl of rice. A lot of people, most of us are not having that in the States, I'll say, but 1 out of 6 people are hungry. Our school systems, our children are hungry. So think about the food that you're eating, really appreciate it. This is mindful eating, really appreciating that you're kind of taking food from other people when you don't eat it and throw it away, or when you eat to excess and then you complain about your weight. It's kind of selfish. And we're practicing being selfless. We're practicing being a part of a global community and caring and doing our part one by one that makes a difference. Imagine if I do it and you do it and 10 other people or 100 other people, 1,000, 1,000,000 other people, how many more people we could feed? That's amazing. That's the type of thing that we're doing here. So, don't wait to meet your weight target. Is more, please let it be more. That's what we're talking about, the mindset shift, than just vanity. It has to be about more than vanity, or you're probably going to see a continuation of the weight gain, or at least not the weight loss. It is the mindset, is the selflessness, is the loving nature that opens you up and opens your body up. We'll get into at some point later these energy centers. Where are you gaining weight? Is it in your solar plexus? Is it in, I'm sort of tricky because I have a thin face, so you can't see all the places down here where I tend to gain weight. People say, oh, you don't look like you, yeah, because I don't gain it in my face. But some people do. Their faces get round, their boobs get big. I don't have that, unfortunately, but I do have it in other areas. So just being conscious about your relationship to food, your relationship to the world, getting away from vanity, also paying attention to where you're gaining weight, because that is also an indication of some things going on. Again, we'll talk about that in another segment. But I want you to think about really your relationship to hunger. Explore it. Be hungry. Be hungry extend the time between your meals or your snacks. There's a trend going around now about fasting, like daily fasting, like you don't eat for 12 hours at a time. And that would include the time you're asleep. So maybe you don't eat between 6 at night and 6 in the morning. If that works for you, fine. I'm not promoting that or not, but it does sort of go to this. How often do you really need to eat? Our body needs food to operate at its best, but we've been stuffing it so much. We're far past what our body really needs. We're in excess. So what does hunger feel like? It feels like, oh, I want something. And sometimes it is physical. Oh, my stomach is growling. Oh, I have a headache. I haven't eaten today. That can be eradicated with an apple and a handful of almonds. It does not require a full 3-course meal. So you can be okay without going overboard. You can take care of those hunger pains, but play with what hunger feels like. What does it feel like in my body, in my countenance? And then sometimes you'll realize I'm not actually hungry. I just want something. I want something. What do we say? I'm peckish. I want something to munch on. I want something. It's something to do. It's a hand-mouth thing. It's an oral fixation. Other things are going on. It's not actually hunger. You'll discover a lot of times it's not actually hunger. And when it is hunger, make friends with it, play with it a little bit and say, oh, how do I eliminate? When you turn the light on, the darkness disappears. Okay. If I'm hungry and I've got a kitchen with food in it, I can eat 14 crackers and not be hungry anymore. But is that what I'm really trying to satisfy? That's the mindset. That's the psychology. That's what we're trying to wake up to. Awareness, self-awareness. Awaken to who we are. Who am I? What do I want? What am I doing? And do those things consciously and with love instead of unconsciously, which tends to be more destructive. It's just the way it is. So pay attention to your relationship to food. Establish your relationship to hunger. Be a global citizen in this. You're not just trying to meet a weight target for personal, selfish, aesthetic reasons. This is about health and wellness for yourself and for the world. And that is where all goodness comes from. And then I'm telling you, it's an amazing thing because the spiritual side is you'll lose weight faster. The math won't even matter because it won't be this physical math. It'll be God's math. And God's math you can't calculate because it's miraculous. It's grace. It's a blessing. And that is the beauty in how we are approaching our weight management. All right, let's keep it going. We're going to start talking about exercise soon. And let me know how you're doing and if any of this makes sense to you. This is TK, Remarkable Wellness, Love and Light.